Okay, so let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to clone this repository. I've created a new repository up here on GitHub. So we'll go here, we'll just clone this, just a blank repository at the moment. Into here, we'll clone this. I'll just put this into. Okay, we'll go ahead and clone that. Next thing we're going to want to do is create a Blazor app. So if we open up this folder, what I like to do actually is, with all my projects, it's personal preference. I just like to keep all my source code in a separate folder called source. I find this comes in handy when you start building big applications, because you'll end up needing potentially like build tools and other scripts, so you can kind of separate things out then. Okay, so let's grab that, and then what we'll do is we'll go and create a new project. We'll search for Blazor Server App, we'll select that, and we'll put that into this folder, and we'll just call this desktop AI dot. I'm going to call it .app because we might land up with a few assemblies in a minute. So we'll do that. Click next. That should be good. We can leave all of that as default by now. We'll probably upgrade this to .NET 7 at some point actually, but for now just let's use 6. And 8's coming out soon as well, so it's difficult to keep up with everything. Okay, perfect. So I think what I'm going to do is we'll just get the basic Blazor app running. So I mean, this will run as it is, just the default template. What I want to do is get the Blazor app running, get Electron working and building, and get the pipeline set up. Always like to do that first when I start a project, so that you know as you're moving through the project that all your builds and your pipelines are all working correctly. So if we just run this quickly, let's just double check it works, which it should do. Yep, so that's all our basic template kind of up and running, which is great. Okay, cool. So we'll close that. Now what I'm going to do now is just get this all wrapped up in Electron quickly. So I'll bring this over here. We essentially just going to follow through these steps over here. It's pretty easy. Some other people have done some great work to making this nice and easy for us. So all we need to do is add this NuGet package. It'll be a lot more configuration and stuff we'll do with Electron once we've done this, but we'll just get the basics up and running for now. So we'll install this. Once that's installed, the next thing we need to do is go and run this. Just accept. So we can do that in the package manager console. So if we go into here, go into our folder, and we'll just run this. So that'll install the tools that it needs. It'll create the manifest so that we can restore that on the build server. And then once we've done that, we can install the tool. While we wait for that, then we grab the next one. And then what this will do is it'll go and it'll create all the Electron configuration files for us. So you'll see we've got this Electron manifest file that's appeared over here. So we'll go and tweak this in a minute, just change some of the names and things. Okay, yeah, it's pretty much a copy and paste exercise, thankfully. This is the beauty of having libraries that have done this before for you. So just take all this stuff, build services, add all that. There's a couple more things we need to do over here. And then we should now be able to start our Electron app. So actually, let me just check, was that the last thing? I think there was one more thing here we needed to do. Just to make sure that when we close the app, it actually kills the Electron thing properly. 1 second, there we go. And I think that was pretty much it. And then these will be the commands that we run on the build server to output the binaries for the different OSs that we're targeting. Okay, so if we go ahead and we try and run this quickly, let's just go back up to here. Just see if it starts. Oh, we've got that there, cool. Let me just check these folders quickly. That seems a bit strange. See. Okay, I think, yeah, when we've updated the Electron stuff, it's made it back of the existing project for us. Let's just delete that, rebuild that, build it again. Okay, right, let's give this a go again. There we go, that looks more promising now. Cool, it's going through, it's just doing all the npm stuff. So it uses npm and node packages for a lot of this stuff. Cool, and there we go. Right, so that's booted up. Cool, so here we go. We've got our Electron app. You can see this is running as a WinForms app, Windows app. And I think everything should still work. We've got a whole bunch of options. We can exit. I should close the app. Alright, perfect. I think there's just a couple little options I just wanted to change in here. So for the purpose of this, we want this to be a single instance. For the executable, actually, we leave the executable. Just the name of the app we want to change. Change the author. I think for now that's fine. We'll come back to this a bit later because there's a few other things we want to do, like add all the auto updating and stuff. But I think, oh geez, even got the date wrong here. Let's do 2023. Okay, perfect. Right, let's just try that one more time. That should have to be a bit quicker this time. Perfect. And there we go. Okay, fantastic. Right, so we'll exit that. I think, yeah, next thing to do now really is, what I like to do is just get the build set up so that I know that it's building correctly on the server. So if we head over to GitHub, what we'll do over here is we'll go to actions. Actually, before I do that, I'll tell you what, I'm just going to commit what we've got here quickly. We'll come back and we'll tidy this up in a minute. Cool, so there's our initial commit, and then we'll go back to GitHub. Okay, so now that I've pushed it, what we can do is we can set up this build pipeline. So if we go to configure on this .NET Desktop app, we'll build it for Windows initially. Let's just double check this, so that all looks okay. Alright, cool, so then what we need to do is just replace a few of these things with the files that we need. Build the application, and then what we want to do is we want to run these commands. So we go back to here. We'll just do the Windows version for now and see how that gets on. Okay, I'm just going to give that a go quickly just to test it. More than likely will error. It's not something I do every day. Okay, I think it's actually already created it. Yeah. If we go to actions, it's probably kicked it off actually. Yeah, there we go. So let's have a look at this quickly. So that's building both debug and release. We'll change that in a minute. We only want the one to, so install ms build, restore, build. We can name those a bit better in a second. Okay, so we've got an error here. Let me just correct that quickly.
A few moments later.
Okay, so after a bit of fiddling around, so I've got this build template working a bit better now. So what it does now is we've got a matrix of the operating system. So we want to build on Mac, Linux, Mac, and Windows. And then what we've got is we've got one build step, so that will build it, that will work on any platform. And then for each operating system, we are running the Electron command targeted at each operating system. And then what we're doing is just copying the output into the artifacts folder. And then what that looks like when it runs, I'll show you quickly. So if we go to the last one that's run, we can see what it does is it does a build on each operating system, so Mac, or Linux, Mac, and Windows. And then once it's completed, you'll see you get your packages out. So that all seems to be working, which is good. And the other thing I had to change was the name of the app. I put a space in it when I was doing it earlier, but I think you can set the product name earlier. We'll play around with some of this configuration later, and we'll tweak it. But I think for now, that's kind of the basics working. We've now got the app, we've got it building, and we've got it outputting the different binaries. I did also download this. I downloaded the Windows package and installed it. That seemed to work, all loaded up. What I'll do a bit later is I'll go and I'll test the Linux package and I'll test the macOS package. I'm assuming they work, but you never know until you test. And then I think what we'll do in the next session is we'll actually start building the Blazor App up.